Welcome back to Restore Thrive. We're here today talking about the movement archetypes. Remember, the movement archetypes are the basic start and finish positions that every athlete should be able to get into. And when you have full range of motion, you're able to perform the way your body is meant to perform. If you have an incomplete movement archetype, we know that you're more susceptible to injury. Today we're going to talk about the fourth upper body movement archetype. That's what we call our press shape. Most of you will be familiar with the press. It's the finish position if I'm bench pressing or if I'm doing push-ups or any sort of pressing or pulling variation. When I pull my arms back, my elbow should be able to pass behind my body. And from the front, my elbow should be in line with my wrist, not outside or rounded forward here. So take a minute, stop the video, check your press position and make sure you can get your elbows all the way behind your body, and that you can do that without overarching through your back or throwing your head forward or rounding your shoulders, flaring your elbows out. Once you've checked yourself, if you find that you're a little bit stiff, we've got 3 simple mobilizations that will start to open you up. We're going to start with our jump stretch band tied around the squat rack here. Again, remember, you can anchor this band anywhere you can find a steady anchor. What we'll do today is put this around your wrist and then hold that band between your thumb and your index finger here. Now, all I'm going to do from here is turn away from the band and let the band pull my arm and my shoulder back around my body here. So I'm creating rotation to gets that arm back behind my body. Again, remember, when we're in this position, we're trying to mobilize at the point of restriction. We always want to do this in a safe way. So as you're mobilizing, if it feels a little sketchy, it's probably sketchy. If it feels like something's tearing or about to pop, it's probably tearing or about to pop. So don't put yourself in a position where it doesn't feel comfortable. It's going to feel a little bit tight if you're working on a tight spot, but just make sure you can hold this position and breathe normally. You should notice over time as you're holding this position that this starts to let go and open up, and you should be able to turn a little bit further. We like to keep people in here for 1 to 2 minutes or until they notice that they're not getting any more improvement in their range of motion. So that's going to help with that general shoulder extension, that ability to get your upper arm behind your body. Now we want to go after some of the structures in the front of the chest. We'll do this with what we call our pec smash. For this, you need some sort of ball, and usually a larger diameter ball around the size of a softball is helpful for this. What we're going to do is lay face down on the ball, and we're going to go to work through this muscle tissue around the front of your chest here. So from right under your collarbone all the way to the bottom of your chest, we'll basically lay down on the floor, get that ball pinned in the top of the chest, and then I'm going to let my arm out to the side, and I'm going to add or subtract pressure based on how high my arm is positioned. So I'm going to wave up and down while keeping that ball fixed in one spot. If I'm able to clear that full range of motion, I can get my arm all the way overhead, and it doesn't feel like it's adding tension. I can go in a little bit more. I can go down a little bit more. If this is hard to hold your neck up in this position, you can make a fist and just rest your forehead on your fist and just slide back and forth here. Again, we're trying to find those hot spots. Remember, normal muscle tissue should not hurt to compress, and we should be able to add large loads to that tissue without adding any sort of pain or discomfort as well. So anywhere you find a hot spot or tissue that doesn't want to stretch, that's a spot that needs some mobilization. So once we've freed up the front of the chest, the last piece we want to deal with is that area between your shoulder blades and your upper back. So this area from right above your shoulder blade to right down that inside border of your shoulder blade. If that's stuck as we're bringing our arms back, if we can't get our shoulder blades out of the way, it's hard for that shoulder to get all the way into that in-range press position. So I'm going to position this ball right at the top of my trap and lay down over the ball and get some pressure there. And I can simply start by taking a breath in and out. And that shouldn't hurt to breathe normally over the ball. If that feels comfortable, I can add in a little motion of my arm, bringing my arm out to the side, or bringing my arm up overhead, or reaching across my body. I should be able to put my arm in really any shape and be able to tolerate that without much increase in tension. If that feels comfortable, I'm just gonna move my body up to bring that ball inside, that inside border of my shoulder blade, and do the same thing. I should be able to raise my arm up. I should be able to bring it arm out to the side. I should be able to reach across my body, just working all those different positions. Take some time exploring these different shapes that you can get your arm into and make sure that it doesn't hurt to compress the tissue in those different shapes. So once you've done those 3 mobilizations, again, spend at least a minute and ideally 2 minutes on each of those mobilizations. Retest that press shape. Reassess, how does that feel at end range? Do you notice a difference if you've just mobilized one side versus both? Give those exercises a try, and if you have more questions about how to improve your performance or your upper body mobility, you can find us at RestoreThrive.com.